how do you balance the need for comprehensive coverage with the reality that every new data source potentially adds more noise to an environment?
Yeah, it's a tough balance, particularly with us, where we have this pressure that we want to make the most we can with the signal that we integrate with. Um, but I think the reality is all vendors aren't equal when it comes to the ROI of that signal. And so we've seen over the years that there's certain signal that is most valuable or more valuable than others. And so instead of getting, I would call it maybe greedy in trying to make all vendors have the same amount of detections or the same coverage, you need to focus on what's impactful and what's actually going to find evil. And so it's a tough thing to balance. But fortunately, like I said before, there's different ways we can utilize signal. So some can be strong alerts that we send to the SOC, and other signal can be used for investigative purposes. So regardless of the tech stack that customers come to us, we'll integrate it and we'll find value in it, but the value might just come in different forms.
I think Brady really nailed it. I think if you approach integrations from a check the box perspective, it just doesn't work. It just, again, it adds so much technical debt and frustration to the whole process. The only time that check the box has ever given me something of value in cyber has been the $11 I made when I checked the box of, yes, I wish to participate in this class action lawsuit over this breach of my data. It's the only time I can think of that check the box has worked as like a strategy. So instead, I think it starts with the question of like, what pain point or what gap are we trying to address or get after? How is this data, how is this new thing going to actually help us? And what's the minimum that we can get out of this thing to help us? And then after you answer those like fundamental questions, then you can start asking things like, okay, well, how do we balance that with cost? How do we, balance it with our monetary and operational costs? How much time we have, stuff like that, and document all the trade-offs. But you got to start with, what is the actual problem we are trying to solve, or what is the gap we're trying to fill with this?
Yeah. I feel like a common theme that keeps coming up in your responses is just taking a pause and thinking critically and within from the eyes of the practitioner. So what insights are we going to be able to glean from this platform or data source that is going to most help practitioners rather than, to your point, just checking a box, right? It seems like taking a moment to pause and think is critical to what you do in your everyday jobs.
Yeah, underrated skill set, doing nothing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I do it well though.
Do nothing. That's right. Well, it's some people say a lot of times it's 80% strategy and 20% execution. It's very strategic what you do, right? You
Yes.
really need to put
Yeah,
in the thought
that's
before
true.
you start actually, getting hands on keyboard.